24 hours away from the National League Alliance Cup final. How's the mood in the camp going into this one?
Excited, I think, would be the overwhelming feeling for the group, for the staff, I think for everyone involved, particularly given the context how long it's been without, so much football, losing out on so much. It adds a particularly different feel for the boys. So they're excited, worked very, very hard over a period of time to give us the best possible chance to show the best version of ourselves. So we're really looking forward to it, embracing it for what it is, and we'll be ready to go come Wednesday.
How's the build-up been? Because obviously you've only been back in training for a few weeks now, but how are the lads settled back into their training routines?
It's been different, hasn't it? So we broke off just before Christmas. I think it was apparent that there was going to be some form of lockdown, and it came a lot quicker than I think people might have realised at the time. And we've had months and months and months without doing anything. When we got wind that there would potentially be a return and that there may be something to return for in terms of competitive football, we put a programme together. It was split into 3 blocks. The first block, preparing the body. The second, a reminder as to the principles and what we're about. And then a third block, putting a little bit more meat on the bones tactically as to what we are. It's nothing the group haven't seen before. For us, we're the easiest team to prepare against in the world. You can probably just put us into YouTube and see exactly what we are in terms of the game's shape and stuff like that. So it was nothing new for the lads, more just embedding those principles that probably prior to the lockdown was second nature to them. Physically, we've obviously got to be ready, so that is probably the unknown. We can have an opinion on what we think the boys are going to be like based on the way the training sessions have been conducted from a physical point of view, the stuff they've put on in terms of high speed running and the distances covered. That stuff gives you an indication, but I think that's the unknown probably for both sides as to what 90 minutes will look like for the individuals out on the pitch.
Obviously this is last season's cup final, not this season, so for example somebody like Will Goodwin, who played in the semi-final, isn't available as he now plays for Stoke. How has sort of the rules and regulations, how has that been in terms of it had a bearing on you picking a team for this game?
It is what it is around, you have to specify at some point who's eligible. There's got to be a cut-off point. There's always going to be people that lose out. Looking at it from the outside, I think it hinders us a lot more than our opposition. So looking from the outside, our opposition run a genuine under-19s programme. We don't. For us, at the end of your 2-year time with us, you're either involved in a first-team group generally, or you move on to pastures new. We will probably make 7-8 changes from the semi-final from boys that have moved on from the football club. Will Goodwin now in the Championship, Jake Hampson, who's unavailable, out on loan, Tom Ruffer, who's moved on, scored so many goals in that cup run. The big ones for us are Stuart Crilly, Louis Hayes, boys that are still at the club, Lloyd Marshuse, that will now be under 20s. So we've had to shuffle the pack, and it will be a young group. And look, the most Chester thing imaginable is Harrison Burke, our one player with senior experience. To lose him ahead of the game on Wednesday to an injury is challenging, and obviously that means all the work that we've done, we'll have to shuffle our pack again. We'll have a 16-year-old playing at centre half who, as much as that's a great experience for him, it's going to be a real test. So we will relish that. You talk about team selection and what you go up against. We relish being underdogs, Alb, in any competition. You've seen that with all these sides that have come to Chester in the Youth Cup. We're playing against opposition who are expected to win the game and expected to win the game well, and they will have to embrace the pressure of playing against the Chester side, a side that, like you say, division below them at first team level, in a game that they're expected to win and win comfortably. That pressure sounds a lot easier to deal with than to actually go and carry, in my opinion. So we'll be ready as best we can. It's been a challenge, but I'll certainly believe in the team that we'll put out there on Wednesday evening.
You mentioned looking at the opposition. How difficult has it been for you and Mike and for the staff to almost prepare for the opposition?
We like to do our work on the opposition. We do a real level of due diligence just because it's good habits for the players. So we believe in that at youth level to prepare them for what they'll go into at senior level. But it's difficult because it feels like the first game of the season. Training is what training is. Teams that might have been put out in October, that's no reflection on form. The last time we lined up, we were knocked out of the FA Youth Cup, and that, look, it'll be a similar team and a similar setup to that for us, but you don't know whether personnel and individuals within that personnel are in the same place. So look, Mike Alcott, Paul Reed have been phenomenal in terms of their roles of just trying to get our players in the best possible place. we'll have a game plan, relish the whole occasion, and I certainly believe that we can put a performance on and get a result that will trouble our opposition.
And finally, you won this competition back in 2018, the chance to do it again. How much would it mean to you and to the football club?
It's massive. My bit of being a Chester boy and being really proud to represent the club, I don't hide from that, and I enjoy that. For me, the biggest motivation, there's two of them. These boys that have had such a challenging scholarship and missed out on so many opportunities, I want them to have something to show for it on Wednesday night. All those lockdowns and missed opportunities and null and void and cancellations, I want them to look back at the time at Chester and not remember being locked away for a virus. I want them to remember, you know what, we were the national champions of this cup competition. But also for me, it represents the work that's gone on over a 9-10 year period for, once again, Chester Football Club's youth section to be on the national stage in a cup final, punching above our weight time and time again. I'm very proud of that. And for us in the dynamic of the cup competition, to have involved so many boys last season and so many boys this season, it really does feel like a group effort, and we'll all be together. Look, the biggest disappointment for us is me and you both know that if it wasn't behind closed doors, there'd be blue and white shirts everywhere, and we'd be taking 400-500 down the M6 onto the M5 like we did last time. The place would be rocking. That's a massive disadvantage for us because there isn't a club at this level that gets behind their youth team the way that our supporters get behind us. That is, all the cliches about what it does for us, we'll miss that on Wednesday night, but the boys will feel like people are with them. They'll be together the way that we always are, and like I said, when you're at this club, whether you are under 9s or in the first team, you're part of a real family. It's down to us to go out on the pitch on Wednesday, give these boys an opportunity that I know they'll take. So we're very proud of them up to this point. It'll mean a lot for the individuals, for the group, for everyone involved. And look, let's bring it on Wednesday.